Hi, I'm Shinella, as you may possibly know. Now I've currently got myself to revered with a Shaohao reputation. This is not something you averagely do on a level 70 Twinks, but it was fun to do and it was actually possible to do as well. Most of the things I have been soloing. I could take about 1 up to 3 mobs depending on which ones and depending on where I was kiting them, because if I kited them into other mobs I would probably die again. But it averagely, let's say 2 mobs, 3 mobs at a time. Sometimes I did take more, but I kind of solved that easily by going towards level 90, who was using AoE, and just getting myself into Shadow Melt, and then they would attack level 90, and the level 90 had to kill them for me. It's kind of a bastard move, but it does work to speed things up a little bit. I did try even contacting level 90s, but they didn't really want to help me up. Apparently it's slowing them down as a level 70 to join them up into a group, which apparently I don't think is quite true, because I would be taking more mobs, but I digress. I completely digress. The most fun part about all of this was that actually the mobs do have skills. If you are going to a Burning Crusades raid, then you will not actually really get anywhere with the trash mobs. They all just do pretty much the same. They do a lot of damage, they do some few skills, but you don't really bother, you don't really care. Here you actually do care. You want to either interrupt it or spell reflect it, or you want to avoid it in any possible way, or you're going to die. And I mean die, absolutely just horrendously, devastatingly die. The skills in there are really strong, but their auto attack do barely any damage onto you. Let's say 2000 to 3000 damage per hit, which is actually quite possible to take. I took about 3 mobs on me, and all I needed to do was every once in a while slow them down, take away some of their damage, and then run towards a carcass, which if I clicked on it would heal me instantly back to full health, and they would be on every spike onto the ruins where I was farming them. So you've got a fire, and above that is a spike with a carcass on. You just click onto the spike, you increase all your stats by 5%, and you will get fully healed, so why not take it? And so that's how I pretty much soloed most of my enemies. Now, I also tried contacting some level 90s. Most of them were not able to help me up or didn't want to help me up, though I did find I found 2 people who were up to helping me, and they gave me up together about a 2-3,000 reputation, which did quite help me up. 2 to 3,000 reputation within, let's say, half an hour. That is much faster than anything else I did on my own. And eventually I found another group, even though I didn't mention being level 70. I was into the Ordos Sanctuary and they just invited me, so I figured why not join them, why not help. And well, first we killed Ordos himself, and then we were farming for half an hour outside of the Ordos fields. Which gave me quite a lot of reputation, because they gave about 20 to 25 reputation per enemy. And that pretty much boosted me up again for about 6,000. So in total, I've had about a 9,000 of a boost, which is not bad at all. But everything else was basically just my own work. In total, I needed about 3,000 plus 6,000 plus 12,000, so that's 9,000 plus 12,000. They gave me from neutral to honored, and I went from honored to revered on my own. That's 12,000 reputation that I farmed on my own. It took me about 13 days in doing so, and the other ones did it in about an hour together to get me from 9 to 9,000 reputation. But it was fun to do, and I'm not complaining. Now, if you are searching for a challenge, I would actually say you might have to give it a try as well. Even though you are not going to farm the reputation completely, I would say just go to the Timeless Isle, kill some mobs in there. It's actually quite fun to do. The mobs have strategies, the mobs have things to avoid, things to dispel, things to interrupt, things to spell reflect, whatever you fancy, whatever you think might help you up in the moment. And it's really fun to do. Now, I did notice one crucial thing. The Mr. Pandaria enemies are a lot easier than they used to be back in, well, before 6.0. I actually managed to join up with someone else who was just a healer, and then I was a tank, and we managed to two-man a Zandalari Warbringer. Those were one of the favorite fights I've ever had into the Mr. Pandaria so far, on my level 70 that is. Taking my level 70, going out in the Mr. Pandaria and fighting a Zandalari Warbringer. It's really fun to do, and you can actually two-man it, or if you're Death Knight, or any other tank really, you can probably solo them, but I as a warrior can't because I don't have any stealth heals, which is quite annoying. But I would say, if you are searching for a true interesting challenge, because these were the most fun things ever to solo, then go to the Timeless Isle or anywhere really in the Mr. Pandaria, just solo yourself some enemies. It's interesting, it's fun, and it's something completely different. You might even impress some other level 90s, because I managed to do so even though it was never my intention. I was fighting some mobs, 3 of them together. There were 2 level 90s just staring at me. They weren't helping me or anything, they were just staring at me and watching me fight the enemy mobs. And then after that, after I killed them, they slash clapped, which was, I guess, a little bit humiliating, but fun. It was quite hilarious. I would say, if I were you, just do it. Just do it. For the level 80 Twinks, by the way, I've heard it's now possible to solo pretty much everything, even though it takes up to from 30 to 45 minutes to fight mobs. But apparently, if you were Mr. Pandaria armor or Cataclysm armor, or well, Bound on Equipped armor, blue armor, and your item level is high enough, then you reduce your damage taken by 98%, which makes it pretty much possible to kill anything in any raids. Just, for example, there's several enemies with an enraged timer. What you have to do is make sure they get into a certain phase where they can't hit you or anything, and just wait until the enraged timer goes over. And that's pretty much all you have to do. I don't have any videos, of course, on a level 80, because I don't have a level 80 twink, but I do have several friends who twink at level 80. If you are searching for other challenges as a level 70, now I tried doing it on my warrior, and it's not as easy as it seems to be, but if I were a Death Knight or any other class that can actually self-heal, then I would easily say this was possible. Go outside into the Tempest Keep and try fighting yourself with Allah as a level 70 twink. I tried it, I got him down to about 20%, I didn't actually manage to kill him. I was just in phase 1, but I couldn't self-heal, I had too few heals, and I died eventually. But it's a challenging thing to do, and I would recommend 70 twinks searching for something to do. Either go into Tempest Keep, kill Allah, or any other raids, solo some heroic dungeons, or go out in the Timeless Isle or anywhere in Mr. Pandaria and find yourself some fun enemies. The content is not always within the most obvious things. Try doing something that you really think is out of content, what it's not dedicated for you to do, and do it anyway. Anyway, that's all I have to say. So if you did like the video, please do press the like button and subscribe if you haven't already. Leave a comment in the comment section below, and I'll see you next time.